Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the 10 to 1, your daily high-speed update, where we're reeling in all things fishing in 10 minutes or less right here in one spot. I am your host, Mike Anderson. Today is Thursday, February 24th, and as always, I'm excited to be back with you today. Today, let's talk about some basic kayak care and maintenance tips. Now, you've gone through the rigors of picking out the perfect kayak, you've shopped around, you found the best boat for your needs, you got the right size, the ideal color, and you've even learned the correct strokes and safety procedures. Now, the work is done, right? Now you can sit back and enjoy being a kayak owner. You're ready to paddle, right? Wrong. Now, while these are great first steps of owning a kayak actually takes more work than this. There's a lot that goes into owning a kayak. But one of the most important things you can learn is how to perform proper kayak maintenance. Unless you have added a motor or you're lucky enough to own something like a Sportsman autopilot with the integrated motor, there aren't engines to care for or break down. But there are skegs, rudders, hatches, tow lines, and paddles that can all creep into disrepair if you're not careful. Now, taking care of your kayak doesn't take a lot of effort, but it's important to make sure that you're at least covering your bases through cleaning and care. Now, kayaks spend half their lives immersed in water, but that doesn't mean that they're clean. No matter where you paddle or pedal, there's bound to be gunk and debris that can build up on your boat. Now, this is no big deal unless you let it sit for a long period of time. Before you know it, that buildup is stuck to your boat and has turned your beautiful blue hull into a nauseating mud green mess. Have you ever tried to scrub off or clean dried pond scum off a kayak? It's not something you want to deal with. Trust me, I've been there. Now, your boat is designed to require minimal maintenance, and a little timely care will ensure a lifetime of enjoyment. Whether you wash your boat, use mild soap and water, rinse your boat always after you get off the water, rinse that hardware thoroughly after paddling in salt water especially, as well as brackish or polluted waters. A quick rinse of moving parts of the foot braces, rudder, skeg will help keep them clean and operating smoothly. Making sure your boat is free of sand, mud, seaweed even, and any other unwanted gunk you might have picked up while paddling is an easy step to take care of, but one that will go a long way toward keeping your kayak looking and working like new for a long possible time. There are a number of cleaning solutions available to help keep the kayak clean and spotless, such as 303 Marine UV Protectant, Starbright cleaning solutions, or even a hybrid marine UV spray shine will help keep that kayak clean. Now, always give your kayak a clean checkup occasionally. Make sure that you keep your boat in tip-top condition. Check neoprene hatches, covers, cables, buckles, straps, and other moving parts for wear and tear, and replace them when necessary. Make sure to keep all the nuts tight. Check that hardware and exit holes for watertight silicone seals. Give your hull and deck a thorough review annually. Light nicks and scratches and scrapes are part of the paddling experience, but deep scratches should definitely be looked at or possibly repaired. Now, definitely don't drag your kayak. To prevent unnecessary wear to your boat, do not drag the boat across rough surfaces. This is kind of a no-brainer. Store and transport your kayak with care. If you have a plastic, let's say roto-molded kayak, your boat will actually become slightly malleable when exposed to excessive heat and sunlight. Now, this is something you want to have especially be careful for when you're transporting your boat on a roof rack. Now, if you transport on the roof of your vehicle, make sure to use a rigid bar roof rack in addition to a kayak cradle attachment. Now, this will help disperse the weight evenly. Now, even if you're using a trailer, make sure the bunks are spaced properly and that the hull sits nicely on those bunks, that when it's strapped down, you're not bowing or flexing the kayak in any way. Make sure it's sitting nice and flat. This will help ensure your boat doesn't warp in one spot. Another good way to avoid this is by not keeping your boat tied tightly to your roof or your trailer for more than a day or so, or leaving your kayak on the trailer outdoors to bake in the sun. Whenever possible, you want to protect your kayak from these elements. Keep your boat stored in a garage, possibly under a tarp to help reduce exposure to the sun and the heat, or even frost during the wintertime. A good kayak can be a big investment, and you want to make sure your boat will last as long as possible in prime working condition. If the hull on your boat is ever distorted due to an accident or improper storage or even transportation, a correction may be simple. Now, brief exposure to the heat of the sun often restores a hull to its original shape, basically pop it back into motion. If that fails, the hull shape can often be restored by applying a low heat source such as a low wattage bulb or even a hair dryer to the deformed area. When the hull is pliable enough, hand molding can also help work. Now, caution here, overheating can burn or damage the hull. Now, lastly, consider upgrading your kayak equipment if you suffer from occasional bouts of kayak envy. Now's the time to make a list of those important and not so important upgrades you've been dreaming about. New rod holders, a more comfortable seat, or even stabilizing outriggers are all investments you might want to make. Or if you're getting concerned, you might have to give up kayaking altogether due to, let's say, a shoulder injury or arthritis or other health or age-related conditions. Now, maybe it's time to consider a simple upgrade or transition into something like a Versa paddle or a Gamut paddle holder, something along those lines to help make being out on the water easier for you. Another start or end of season purchase to consider is a kayak cart or other transportation system. Not only will they eliminate the bad habit of dragging your kayak on the ground when you get to the launch, they'll make transporting it much easier for any type of health conditions. If you can't swing a cart or a kayak rack right now, try to use the carrying handles on your kayak to prolong its life and appearance. With a little extra effort, these kayak maintenance tips will keep your beloved kayak in good working order for years to come. Now that's it for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this segment of caring for your kayak. It's kind of a no-brainer when you spend the kind of money that it takes to accessorize your kayak as completely as you want. You want to take care of it. These are all kind of common sense, no-brainer tips for today. But I enjoyed sharing them with you. As always, everyone, stay safe, tight lines out there, and I'll see you back here again tomorrow. Thanks.